Hey friends, just wanted to come on really quickly before the video starts to say that I'm editing this video right now and I'm seeing a glaring error. I said lunar eclipse throughout the whole thing, I believe, when it is actually a solar eclipse. So I just wanted to make sure I righted that wrong and put that out there. The Moonology card that I used for the new moon eclipse card that says expect powerful change, I think that still applies regardless of it being lunar or solar, and it doesn't say either one on the card. So yes, the message definitely stands. As far as I'm concerned, I have been having a pretty rough eclipse cycle. So there's been a lot of change for me in the last couple weeks, good and bad, but all in the end very good. I hope you enjoy the reading. Hello friends, welcome back to Fifth Road Spirit. Welcome back to another reading. This time we are reading for the new moon in Sagittarius, which is also a lunar eclipse. If you recall, we had a solar eclipse back on November 19th, and the reading was one of I think it was requiring us to go through a little bit of change. There were a lot of ideas flying around, ideals flying around, but only one stuck for us. So if you are interested in seeing how the journey has resonated for you since the full moon, I recommend going back to that reading and checking it out. However, I know I talk a lot on this channel specifically about dealing with the new moon's energies. Oh, well, my nails are crappy. But once we have hit, when we talk about the healing that the moon can bring us, and we talk about the moon specifically in terms of the divine feminine, we look at the moon as a guide through the cycles of being. And, you know, of course, I must preface that when I do talk about divine feminine, I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about feminine energy. So what is feminine energy? Feminine energy is connected to, if we were to describe it as a sense, the feminine is receiving, the feminine is creative, the feminine is the energy behind the creation process. The feminine is the energy behind receiving, whenever we receive something, whenever we take in information, whenever we take in anything really, whenever we allow something in, that means we are in our feminine receiving mode. And again, you know, I'm talking just about energy. When we're looking at the person as a whole, we are looking at it is helpful to consider ourselves, consider the masculine and the feminine energies that reside in our spiritual in our spiritual body. So, that being said, I want to remind you that my readings are, I do not have an astrology background or formal astrology training, but I do consider and do, I look for information about some of the signs and things like that. So, the new moon. Let's talk a little bit about new moons. Once we have gone through the cycle of new moon to full moon, back to new moon, we look at it as a process of the feminine. When the moon is in the new, when it's coming out of the brightness of the full moon, it's almost as if it follows kind of a little bit of a timeline, where if we think about the phases of a woman, and in this case, yes, I am talking about women. If we if we look at the phases of a woman, and we want to kind of connect the archetypes, feminine archetypes, to those timelines, we look at it and we consider the full moon as the birth mother. This is when our new moon intentions have come to fruition in the cycle. And so once we've birthed something, right, in that full moon energy, we allow the thing out into the world and we let it live as it is. Which now brings us back to our, not only we had a dark moon, but a new moon. And so when we're back into that energy, we're moving into what I like to call the crone energy, the wise woman, the woman who is enlightened, knowledgeable, has experienced all of these phases, and is now back into almost this, when we consider the new moon, we're looking at a burgeoning energy moving into a new state of preparing to give birth again, and I say give birth again, to create and release something into the world. And so that's when the full moon energy plays in again, once we get back into that cycle. So new moons are very much about, what did I learn in the last moon cycle? And based on what I learned, what would I like to see when the moon becomes full again? And even then, it's a question of, how do I release that into the world? Okay, so I'm going to try not to make this too long of a reading. What I've come to an understanding is that this moon cycle has been very rough for me, very tough. Sometimes I wonder if the timing, I don't even wonder about the timing. Sometimes I wonder if, I have a lot of spiritual relationships, and there are just times when I wonder if the timing of the things that occur in my life, because, and I say this because, okay, let me finish that previous thought. There are times in my life when I wonder if, the people that I talk to on a daily basis that are not, in my spiritual world, but that I understand are spiritual relationships, even if they're not aware that they're spiritual, I often wonder if they actually know that they are spiritual and they are actually doing this on time, like on time. So, you know, it has been a little bit distracting, but also it's been part of the journey for me, to experience these things, experience this growth, experience this this journey that we call life. And I will say something personal to me is that while I'm experiencing, I've had a few years of just really rough, like physical stuff happening, and I've been on a healing journey. So it's almost as if I've gone on this physical healing journey, and I finally feel at a point where I can see the improvements, see the change, and it's almost like, but at the same time, I remember where at one point in my life I was very tough. I was very like go-getter, very much like resilient, very in your face, as far as like, you know, being a go-getter, doing all these things, super active. And I remember there was a quote that said, if you wish to be a warrior, prepare to be broken. If you wish to be an explorer, prepare to get lost. If you wish to be a lover, prepare to be both. So as someone with a lot of fire in my, a lot of fire in my astrology chart, that really resonated with me, because I am a warrior, I am an explorer, and I am a lover. And having been through the warrior phase and the explorer phase, this experience as the lover of being, you know, experiencing being both the warrior and the explorer at the same time is probably one of my greatest journeys to date. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. So, thank you for letting me ramble just a tad. You know what? Before I get started, I actually want to call in my grandmother's energy. This is a glass. This is a whiskey decanter that she gave me before she passed, and I just want to honor her memory. And she also was a big fan of Jameson, apparently. So, grandmother, I am calling in your energy as I go through this reading, and I hope that you are with me as I go through it. Cheers. Oh gosh, wow. Okay. So, let me go ahead and go through and look for this new moon in Sagittarius. Let's see. There's the new moon card. It'd be nice if I could find the lunar eclipse card as well. I feel like the South Node is something I should read. Let's see. First quarter moon, fixed moon. Sorry, I just running through these cards. New moon eclipse. And new moon in Sagittarius. All right. Awesome. So let's check out and see what These are the Moonology cards by Yasmin Boland. And I like to kind of take a look at what this reading would be about, would encompass, that kind of thing. So I'll just go ahead and first, let's just look at the New Moon in Sagittarius card. I hope you guys can see that. Let me make sure the light is pretty good. Okay, let's back it up just a bit so you can see. Okay, so it says luck is on your side. Really quick coverage about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. We are currently in Sagittarius season. Sagittarians are known to be very, I don't know why I think of Gemini when I think of Sagittarius as well, but the word flighty comes to mind. But Sagittarians are not flighty in the same way that Geminis are flighty. Sagittarians are kind of flighty with a philosophy attached to it. They're very deliberate about their flightiness, if that makes any sense. So whereas Geminis, I feel, are just flighty. They just, follow whatever. Whereas Sagittarians are like, I really think that mankind could benefit from this kind of exploration or this knowledge. So I'm going to travel and I'm going to find all the places where that knowledge exists and study it and really think about it and live my life around it. And that's what a Sagittarius is all about. What else about Sagittarius? I believe Sagittarius is represented by an archer. Don't quote me on that. Well, actually, no. There's a bow and arrow right there. So I was correct. But again, we're talking about new moons here. So we're talking about setting intentions for the next cycle ahead. And we're also talking about a new moon eclipse, which means it's almost like double the power. So if you have been feeling really pushed to make a lot of change in your life, or at least get into alignment with a personal philosophy or a way that you feel you should live your life, that's probably something that is happening because of this new moon in Sagittarius, but also this new moon eclipse. And a lot of people are if you're an earth sign and you're used to, and not even just earth sign, but there's a lot of earth in your astrology chart. It could be that you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to do this. There's could be a lot of resistance. But if you've got a lot of fire, you could be like, I really want to make this change. Why isn't everybody else making this change? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway. And then also I just want to add here, I've got my purpose candle lit because Sagittarius is attached to our purpose chakra. And I've also got my dark candle lit in celebration of the new moon and welcoming the new moon energy. So let me go ahead, I'll read the new moon in Sagittarius. Okay. Luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Whatever is coming your way, it looks set to put a smile on your face. The new moon in Sagittarius can mark the restart of fun after a period of feeling low. The energy is adventurous and even willing to take a few risks. But be careful you don't bet the farm on something here, as the wheel of fortune is still spinning. This card is about exploring life metaphorically by exchanging big ideas with others or just thinking about your own philosophies. Perhaps it's time to change your mind about something important. It can also signal that a trip away is coming up, if that's something you're working to achieve. But the overall message of this card is that whatever happens next will be some sort of gift, even if that simply means widening your worldview. To attune to the moon, count your blessings, literally. Write them down or say them out loud. Additional meanings for this card: you need to laugh more. This is a wonderful time to start a course of study or teaching. Don't be narrow-minded. Start a week of gratitude practice. e.g. via Facebook, a journal, or a blog. The teaching. Sagittarius is the sign of fun, travel, exploration, and the great cosmic quest. It's the sign of big ideas. Its energy is expansive, upbeat, lucky, and divine. The new moon in Sagittarius exudes all this, as does this card whenever you draw it. Nothing is set in stone with Sagittarius, and an optimistic energy could attract all manner of good things if you tap into the energy by expecting the best. All right, so there's one card. And then I also want to read this new moon eclipse card, and I'll keep these other cards just on hand. We already know that a new moon means that a new start is coming. And then there's also this issue of a south node, but that's a little bit further down the line. But don't let your past hold you back with this south node. So I'm going to go ahead and read the new moon eclipse. If I can find it. Okay, here we go. Expect powerful change. If you want affirmation that you can achieve your dreams and get the desired outcome in the situation you're asking about, then this is it. This is a card of beginnings, and there are powerful energies at work. But be prepared. It could be quite a ride, and events now could even be jarring and uncomfortable. However, any new directions you take will almost always lead somewhere better than where you are at the moment. Whatever is happening now is happening for a reason you'll appreciate later on. A new portal is opening up, and all you have to do is have the courage to forget about the past and move through it. You're being put back on the right path. There is nothing to fear. To attune to the moon, never mind the past. Life evolves every single day. Additional meanings for this card: yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. You're being shunted toward your life purpose. Whatever is happening now is happening for your highest good. This is an important turning point in your life. The teaching. New moon eclipses are among the most exciting astrological events. They herald a complete change of pace. It's as though you're heading in one direction, probably being guided by your ego. And then here comes the divine, the goddess or spirit, to turn you instead to face the direction you actually need to go. Regardless of whether or not there's a new moon eclipse happening when you pull this card, it's a powerful affirmation of positive turnarounds. Y'all, do you know how much I want to I want to be in that energy? Like, yeah, definitely. So let's get into the reading. I want to go ahead and just set the stage, just clear the energy, welcome the energy to come in. Welcome the energy to come in. All right. Thank you, Spirit. All right. So I also want to, I want to keep in mind the card of Sagittarius in tarot as we move through this reading. And I've got my little helper cards here, which I don't mind using because, you know, I've written down the astrological connections to each card. So I want to make sure that we kind of keep in with the tarot connection. And the tarot connection with Sagittarius is the Temperance card. And Temperance is about synthesis. It's about drawing from both the rational and the intuitive. And if it's regarding health, there's moderation in your health matters. So I'll go ahead and just set this to the side. And I think I want to use the Dream Enchantress Tarot. I do want to use the Dream Enchantress Tarot. Put this to the side. All right. I call on my divine enlightened masters and teachers to come into this reading with a message for those who are watching for the new moon in Sagittarius and this new moon eclipse, lunar eclipse. Thank you so much, Spirit, for coming into this reading. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Spirit, thank you. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Wow. Just as I was about to ask. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Whew. Okay. Oh. Okay. Cool. So normally I don't read in reverse, but this card came out in the reverse, so I'm just going to let it stay in the reverse. All right. So let's see what we have here. These three came out together. Let's try and keep those together. And let's just walk through what we have. All right. So first card out, the Three of Cups. And then all together, what came out was the Knight of Pentacles, two knights, the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Then we have the Nine of Wands and the Three of Swords in reverse. All right, at the bottom of the deck, the Eight of Pentacles. So this looks to be, let me take a quick minute to look at and see what this, kind of give an overall of what this reading would be about. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. It speaks a lot about a spiritual journey, but it also speaks about the concreteness of the results of the cycles that you are going through. There's success in this reading. And even though it looks hard, which is very interesting. Wow. Okay, this is why I love this deck. First I love the imagery in the cards. And I'll do my best to describe the cards, but really get into what this reading means for us, for this new moon in Sagittarius, as well as the new moon lunar eclipse. So let's talk about the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is about celebration with friends. It's about inviting people to the party. It's like, you've got friends, and this is, of course, it's, when we talk about cups, we're talking about things of the water. And a lot of times emotions are connected with water. So when we talk about cups, we talk about emotions, and where do we have the most emotional places in our lives? These are in our relationships. These are with our friends. Now, the Three of Cups, depending on okay, I'll just say this. Your mileage may vary, but also the Three of Cups could stand for having healthy relationships from a healthy standpoint, having multiple relationships that are healthy, and negotiating those relationships. So again, that depends on your mileage. But here I just see that there's a gathering. There's a gathering of friends to celebrate and just bringing together in some sort of, you can see that these three, I'll call them sprites, are in the forest. They're dancing. They've got their cups. They're secluded by trees. They're just really enjoying themselves. So that's the energy of the Three of Cups. Now we've got this combination of the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Now, the Pentacle and the Wand together, both of them are knights. Knights in tarot are typically, when we talk about court cards in tarot, we are talking about sometimes people. So this could be, if you are connecting with the idea that they are people, this could either be you or this could be another person. But knights are typically younger people, probably like I would say 20s up to like 30s, mid 30s. But the knights are younger, either younger people, or they possess the qualities of pentacles, which is the earth, which is our resources, job offers, connections. When we're talking about pentacles, we're talking about people bringing us opportunities, and it's at a level where it's an invitation, and there is evidence of it being real. Versus if I'm talking about pages, if this were the Page of Pentacles, I would say this is the idea of a job or an offer or an opportunity. So it's not really real yet. It's just in this beginning stages. But with this pentacle, it's almost as if I think of it as kind of like a startup, like a startup energy. And it's just amazing. Now, with this Knight of Wands, it's almost, wow. Sorry, my mind just got blown, because Sagittarius is all about travel. And instantly, when I looked at this card and I understood both of these cards are about either opportunities coming to you or opportunities for you to travel to that opportunity. Do you know? I don't know if I said that quite correctly, but there's an opportunity that is either traveling to you, or there is an opportunity that is inviting you to travel to it, if that makes any sense. And the funny part is that with the arrival of this Eight of Cups, I know I didn't talk so much about the Knight of Wands, but the Knight of Wands is about, this is about travel. This is about adventure. This is about exploring the world. This is definitely movement. But this is also, when we think about the Knight of Wands, we have to understand this is someone that is traveling the world. You can see this person is traveling on the back of a cat, and the cat is probably going to move really, really fast. Or also, looking here kind of tentatively and deliberately. It depends on how the cat feels, right? Because cats don't typically have, cats are either indoor cats or they're feral, but they all have this own idea of self-ownership. This particular cat, yes, has like a saddle and a bridle kind of a situation going on, but really, can we ever control cats? No. So, the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is where we see a beautiful winged fairy at the edge of a pond looking into the water. Behind her, very far away, is someone that looks like a male that is looking over the bushes, trying to maybe see her, maybe get her attention. But this fairy is so focused on the cups in the water. Very focused, very, this evokes to me introspection. It evokes the idea of not being so concerned with the things of the waking life, the things of society. Like this winged fairy is turning away from this man in order to look at herself. And that is something that I think is really playing into this new moon in Sagittarius. This is about a spiritual journey. This is about really looking inward and understanding who the true self is. This is about the relationship that you have with the waters that create relationships. Right? Wow. And when I think of this, when I think of the Eight of Cups, I really do just see this. There's this fairy who is looking into the waters and really understanding how looking into the waters and looking into herself is also looking into the spiritual nature that connects us all. And by looking into that spiritual nature, there is no need to concentrate on the distance between, if you put yourself in the role of the fairy, there's no need to concentrate on this waking life thing that's happening. And especially when we talk about the Sagittarius, when we talk about how they have a philosophy, right? This is also moving into that space of having maybe a spiritual philosophy, maybe a philosophy about who you are in relationships, maybe a philosophy about your life, your spirit, your connection beyond what it is that you see on a daily basis. Now, the thing that is happening once you go through this, we look at the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands shows a warrior fairy in the midst of a field. She is, who knows where she's going, but she is taking a rest. And behind her is a field of other wands, and she's carrying the one. This is someone, yes, on a journey, and it's an adventurous journey. And what it involves is actually leaving behind past actions, past attempts to do something that may have left you broken, may have left you in a space of, what do I do now? Or at least in a space of, I'm resting in order to wait to get the next go ahead, the next I'm taking my last idea and I'm ready to leave the past behind if I stand up. So it has to be a choice of you here. Are you willing to stand up and leave the past behind? There is one last action you can take. And it's just kind of, to me, right? It's just kind of fruitless to sit in a field with your past all lined up behind you, and you have one last action to take. You have one, you have one fuck left to give, right? It doesn't make sense to dwell on the past. It doesn't make sense to dwell on the past. This spiritual, all this opportunity coming in, this is basically saying, I'm giving you a chance to get up and walk. I'm giving you a chance to leave behind everything that you connect yourself to, every action that you think has defined you. It does not. You define you. That's what this Nine of Wands is saying. And it's connected to Sagittarius. It's a fire. That's wands. Wands are action. Wands are movement. Wands do not allow you to stay in place. And even though this number 9 shows independence, it's almost like, look, if we were to look at the 8 of Wands, we would see blessings coming in, right? The 9 of Wands is like, look, your blessings came in. We helped you. We gave you this ability to move. Now the action, it's all on you. It's your choice. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do? Now, I will say this 3 of Swords. I freaking hate the 3 of Swords, but it's in this reverse position. And to me, it says, when I say I have, it's as if Spirit is saying, leave this behind. You're out of this. It could be something that you end up, maybe you have been hurt in the past. Maybe you have been hurt. But it's almost as if this 9 of Wands is saying, look at this hurt. Look at this hurt. Do you think that the fear was bigger than you? Do you think that the fear could beat you? No, it can't. I'm sorry. I'm showing one cards to one another. So the 9 of Wands is the powerful card here, and it's saying you can beat the past. The 3 of Swords is telling us it's time to let go. This thing that hurt us, this thing that we thought was going to break us, didn't. And it's not so much that we want to put ourselves in another position where it happens, but we need to really understand it was never about this. It was always about this. So that whenever this arrives ever again, you know to say, this is bullshit. No, I refuse. Now, I will say, looking at this 8 of Pentacles, this is about how we create our own success. It's about looking at our process. What do we do continually and over again? What do we do? If we do something in our process that creates success, that success is repeatable. But if we do something in our process and we know the process is creating something that is not beneficial or doesn't turn out right or something like that, it's kind of like, hey, look, take a look at your process. Just really take a look at your process. What is your process getting you in return? Okay? So, that's the reading. I want to give you some guidance going forward. I've kind of been feeling the Magdalene Oracle. Excuse me. May want to also read the Mystical Shaman, but we'll see. Maybe both of them. Let's get a card from both. Let's just get a card from both. All right. So the Magdalene Oracle Guidebook by Toni, Carmine, Salerno. That is just one. And I'm going to ask spirit guides to come in with some guidance for this reading for the new moon in Sagittarius. Spirit, can you give us some guidance for this reading? The new moon in Sagittarius, the new moon eclipse, Thank you very, very much. All right. Spirit, do you have any guidance for us for this reading? Do you have any guidance for us for this reading? Okay. Oops. Wow, look at that. Gratitude. Nice. All right. So I'm going to pull that. I'm also going to pull a Mystical Shaman Oracle. I just like the Mystical Shaman. And these seem to really resonate as well, but let's see. Let's see. I call on my spirit guides to come into this reading with some guidance for the collective for this new moon in Sagittarius, new moon eclipse, lunar eclipse, December 4th, 2021. Thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you. All right, let's see. Spirit, do you have any guidance to go along with this reading for the new moon in Sagittarius? Ooh, that's a lot. You know what? I'm just going to take this top card, the Holy Mountain. We do have Mystical Shaman in the Andean Cross, but I think the top one resonates. All right. So I'm going to read this gratitude one real quick. Gratitude. Gratitude. Okay. I'm doing two cameras here, so my apologies. Gratitude. If you are struggling to make ends meet or experiencing challenging times in your career or business, you may overcome the present difficulty through gratitude. Stop dwelling on what you think is missing and be grateful for all that you already have. There is so much in your life to be grateful for, and it is through gratitude that the universe showers you with blessings. There is no need for negativity and fear, right? This is the thing that we feared, this Three of Swords, because Three of Swords means that there are too many chickens in the hen house, too many people involved in the relationship, too many people giving their ideas. There are too many people in this heart, love, or whatever situation, right? Okay, I'm going to continue reading this gratitude card. There is no need for negativity and fear, for this only serves to block the universal flow stream of abundance, from flowing through. Have faith and be grateful. Focus on that which is positive, and all will be resolved soon. You may expect a positive outcome over the coming 3 months. You could say, I give thanks for all the blessings in my life. I give thanks for all the abundance in my life. I am always safe. All right, so next I'm going to read this Holy Mountain. This is the 25 card. If we add 2 plus 5, that's a 7. That's a very spiritual number. And it's 7 is just all about going inward and finding your spirit. So let's see what the book says about this. Okay. Oops. Okay. Mystical Shaman Oracle Guidebook. Let's look up card 25, Holy Mountain. The essence. Native peoples around the earth recognize mountains as places of great power, where one encounters spirit or where the gods or goddesses reside. In ancient Greece, Mount Olympus, was the home of the 12 main gods and goddesses. In Tibet, pilgrims circumambulate Mount Kailash to bring prosperity. In Peru, pilgrims climb the ice-capped Mount Osengate to receive the starlight and bring fire to the earth. Since this card is in the upright position, I'll read the invitation. The invitation. The Holy Mountain invites you to go on a sacred pilgrimage to acquire vision and perspective. Isn't Sagittarius all about travel? Isn't this reading all about a spiritual journey? First, you must accept the present situation as an opportunity to discover higher understanding. Find a sacred altar where others who came before you have prayed and found wisdom, and make your offering there. Make a commitment to walk with courage, love, and compassion until you see with clarity the perfection of all. Wow. 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 All right. So that is your reading for the new moon in Sagittarius. Thank you so much for being with me. And I truly thank Spirit, because I was not sure how I was going to get through this reading. It's just been such a tough cycle for me. So I am grateful to have been here with you. I am grateful to have been here with you. And I look forward to more readings as the weeks go along. Who knows, I might pop up and do just a random reading here or there. But either way, thank you so much. I wish you well on your journey. Namaste. I will see you next time.